Hello friends, today I'll share some news specifically in Montenegro. They've started wanting Russian companies, and not just Russian, but foreign companies in general, to actually conduct some kind of business activity. So far, this desire is not coming from the government level, but rather from the banks. How does this happen? The thing is, primarily Russian accountants or sometimes the clients themselves who go to open a company account. So we come in and bring a large number of documents. For example, recently we submitted either 16 or 18 applications, documents to the bank to open accounts for new companies. Just imagine the bank prepares about 8 documents for each company, if I'm not mistaken. So multiply 8 by the number I mentioned. That turns out to be a very large number of documents. Employees sit there from morning till night preparing these documents while the company isn't operating. Banks aren't interested in this. Yes, the company opens an account. Yes, it will pay a few euros in account maintenance fees, carry out a couple of transactions, pay itself a salary and some taxes. So in total, this company will have a turnover of 150 euros per month. And this is not interesting to the bank. The bank is interested in having more transactions, higher commissions, and some money kept in the account that can later be used, for example, to give a loan to another company. That's what matters. The bank wants companies to actually operate, not just open accounts for the sake of getting a residence permit. And that's why they started expressing such wishes that foreign companies should actually operate. Yes, of course, this may not apply to everyone yet. There are some exceptions, but it's one thing when out of 100 registered companies, only one is actually operating. That's not normal. Right now, the situation is just like that, which is abnormal. And it's a completely different situation when out of 100 registered companies, 95 are conducting at least some kind of activity, even if it's small, and only 5 are inactive. In that case, no one will have any questions. But when only 1 out of 100 companies is actually operating, they start to have questions. They're not interested in that, and they ask for this to be changed. And just today, we brought a package of documents to the bank, and they agreed to accept us only after I promised that I would talk to the company founders and tell them, guys, you need to at least run something through the company, not do everything under the table. Actually, it was after this meeting that I decided to record this video. So what we're seeing in the banks is, I would say, maybe not quite hysteria yet, but something pretty close to it. And this is showing up in different ways. Some ask, is the company going to operate or not? If not, guys, go to some other bank. We don't need you. Or some banks say it differently. We open all accounts. Yes, for example, right now we've been asked for a domestic account, a foreign currency account for the company, a domestic account, a foreign currency account for the company. So that's 4 accounts in total. We'll open all of them for you. But guys, if there are no transactions on these accounts, we'll close them. And the closure will be at your expense. Don't take it personally. That's it. So what am I trying to say? The time when you could open a company and hide everything under the sun is probably coming to an end. By the way, this isn't the first video I've made about this topic this year, and I urge everyone to think about it and start putting at least something through your company's cash register. Many people hide almost all of their income. Well, people have just gotten used to it. Even though taxes in Montenegro are among the lowest in Europe, compare Montenegrin taxes, say, with French, Italian, or some other country's taxes. Here, they're significantly lower. It's not necessary to put absolutely all your income through your company in Montenegro. Maybe you receive income through a company in another country. Maybe you have a company in Russia or Ukraine. Maybe you have several companies open in Europe, or maybe you have a company in Georgia as well. You channel part of your income through one of these companies, so that's normal. And you can run part of your income through your Montenegrin company. For example, why do you pay yourself a salary of 112 euros per month? The minimum allowable wage when hiring is a quarter of the standard rate. Why not pay, say, a full salary, for example, 700 euros? The taxes on that would only be about 150 euros. Yes, that's not 30 euros like it is now with the minimum, but honestly, it's not that much more. How much should you run through your company? Well, first of all, that's a rhetorical question. Actually, it depends on what your income is. The higher your income, the more you need to run through the company. There are several reasons for this. Besides the questions from banks that I just mentioned, there's another very important issue. Montenegro is planning to adopt a law similar to those in other European countries and in the USA. Yes, it's more lenient, much more lenient, but it's still being planned. This is a law on the control of large purchases. What's the difference with the USA? In the USA, if you make a large purchase and can't prove where the money came from, that purchase will be confiscated, you'll be fined, and you could be sent to prison. In Montenegro, things are much simpler. They just confiscate property acquired with illegal money. At the moment, the law hasn't been enacted yet, but I think it's only a matter of time since such a law exists in all normal countries. Obviously, Montenegro is also a normal country. Obviously, this law will also be implemented in Montenegro. And so, coming back to the point, why am I even talking about this? I'm bringing this up in relation to the question of how much you need to officially earn, or rather to have a justification explanation for where your money came from. It's clear that, of course, by law, you are supposed to channel absolutely everything either through a Montenegrin company or through companies in other countries. In short, all your income should be legitimate. But it's obvious that many people won't do this. But if you just think about it logically, the higher your income, the more often you'll be making large purchases, and the larger the amount you need to declare as legitimate. I think it's clear why, because if you make a big purchase, maybe not today but tomorrow, or if not tomorrow, then in 5 years someone might come knocking and ask, hey, where did the money come from? Your official income, like most Russians, is 112 euros. But you bought an apartment for 100,000 euros last year. And this year you bought a second apartment for another 100,000 euros. Where did the money come from, my friend? I would really like to know how you would answer that question. What else should you take into account? The vast majority of immigrants are freelancers for whom restructuring their income is as easy as 1 to a piece of cake. All it takes is to invoice the client using your company's details, instead of those gray schemes you're using now. So accordingly, I urge you to take advantage of this opportunity, at least to some extent. No one is saying that you have to run huge amounts of money through your company, but at least something, guys, I don't know, maybe receive 700 or 1,000 euros a month. That is, you need to show at least some activity. What do you need to do to start conducting real business activity? You need to do a few things. First, of course, is to open a company and obtain a residence permit. Second, after that, open a bank account. Third, register with the tax authorities. And fourth, complete fiscalization. Fiscalization is a very important thing that appeared in Montenegro relatively recently. Right now, somewhere around here, there will be a video about fiscalization. Take a look to see what it is. What services can we offer you? We can open a company for you, arrange a residence permit, open a bank account, go to the tax office, and handle fiscalization. For any questions, please contact us using the details provided in the description of this video. Goodbye, everyone.